The courtroom is supposed to be a place of sober order, yet today, it became the epicenter of a constitutional crisis. Order, order in the court. Those words failed to contain the raw political volatility that had simmered for weeks in the Empire State fraud trial. We're not discussing rumors. We are analyzing the direct, unedited transcript of the moment Judge Meridian's gavel finally broke against the will of a defiant defendant. This entire scene was set in motion by a decisive ruling at 11:37 a.m. The prosecution's key witness, Mr. David Chen, had just delivered testimony that the judge deemed admissible, a ruling that effectively crippled the defense's strategy. Trump's legal team had been fighting every objection, only to have them swiftly overruled. As the weight of the judge's decision settled, signaling a potential loss of the entire case, Donald Trump, who had been whispering moments before, rose slowly from his seat. Security personnel instinctively leaned forward. The anticipation of a clash was palpable, fueled by the knowledge that courts have already held him in contempt, fined him repeatedly, and issued strict gag orders in other proceedings. The atmosphere was a slow-motion car crash, leading to the inevitable confrontation. This context, the string of overrules, and the case-losing testimony is essential because it frames the insult not as a random spat, but as a calculated, nuclear response to judicial authority. The transcript of the explosive word, corrupt hack, is the point where the legal process ended and the political theater began. The tension in the courtroom, already stretched taut by the judge's continuous overrules, finally snapped. Judge Meridian, whose patience had clearly run out, delivered a final, sharp pronouncement. "Counselor, the matter is settled. The objection is overruled, and any further argument on this point will be taken as contempt. We will proceed." But the former president, identified in the transcript simply as Mr. Trump, chose this moment to rise, disregarding all courtroom protocol. Though his microphone was off, his voice, a loud rumble, carried across the quiet chamber. The judge, attempting to regain control, issued a direct warning. "Mr. Trump, you are out of turn. Sit down, or I will order the bailiffs to remove you." Ignoring the threat, Trump waved his hand dismissively and launched his first verbal broadside. "I've heard enough of this joke. This entire court is a joke. It's a rigged spectacle orchestrated by the same people who rig everything else in this country." His own counsel could only be heard in a hushed, panicked whisper. "Sir, please sit down." This defiance was the point of no return. The judge, now furious, slammed his gavel and issued a direct monetary penalty and an ultimatum. "You will be silent. This is not a rally, Mr. Trump. You have just committed contempt of this court. You will pay a fine of $10,000, and if you say one more word, I will have you removed and proceed with the trial in your absence." It was in direct response to this threat that Trump pointed a finger at the judge and delivered the devastating blow, echoing loudly through the room. "You are nothing but a corrupt hack, and everyone knows it. This is Soviet justice. This is a disgrace to America." That specific, highly provocative accusation was the final catalyst. The courtroom went silent for a single, terrifying second before the judge's control completely shattered, leading directly to the ensuing eruption. The judge's immediate response to the insult was raw and devoid of judicial procedure. He did not use the gavel to deliver a measured warning. Instead, his voice became a raw, vibrating roar into the microphone. "Get the hell out. Now, bailiffs, remove him from my courtroom." The two bailiffs moved instantly, but as they attempted to usher the former president out, he planted his feet, continuing his tirade. The leaked transcript confirms his parting shots, yelled over the relentless, furious pounding of Judge Meridian's gavel. "This is a disgrace. You are an embarrassment to the robe. This trial is finished. It's over." The judge finally managed to pound out the command, "The court is in recess. 10 minutes. Get him out." The immediate aftershock in the gallery was pandemonium, with reporters scrambling for phones. The most crucial detail, however, occurred in private. During the recess, the judge was seen arguing fiercely with his clerk over the legal aftermath. The deliberation was intensely focused on whether the extreme act of criminal contempt warranted revoking the former president's bail, holding him overnight, or declaring a mistrial due to the irreparable misconduct. This private crisis confirms the gravity of the legal consequences, showing that the confrontation was far more than a simple shouting match. It was a fundamental attack on the integrity of the court, forcing the judge to fight for the future of the trial itself. This is where the political spectacle intersects with genuine legal danger. What occurred was no minor infraction. Shouting "corrupt hack" at the presiding judge after multiple warnings immediately elevates the offense from simple civil disobedience to potential criminal contempt, which in this jurisdiction is a misdemeanor that carries the very real consequence of jail time. The entire legal community is now polarized, debating whether Judge Meridian had the courage not just to impose a fine, but to order an arrest. By ordering the ejection, the judge drew a public line in the sand, proclaiming that the authority of his bench transcends even the power of a former president. This move, however, is a calculated risk. It paradoxically reinforces the very political narrative Trump is aiming for, that of the victim in a political witch hunt, which his legal team was prepared to exploit. We received a shocking twist from our sources. The defense viewed the judge's explosive reaction and the ejection not as a loss, but as a potential win. They intend to use the incident to argue on appeal that the judge demonstrated clear public bias, thus tainting any future verdict. Before we reveal the judge's shocking next move, understand that the transcript of his private conversation during the recess shows he wasn't discussing obscure legal procedures. He was talking about power and the defense of the judicial process. The recess ended, and the court returned to session with an eerie calm. With the defendant, Mr. Trump, absent but listening from a secure room, Judge Meridian took the bench, his earlier fury replaced by a methodical, ice-cold resolve. The final leaked transcript revealed his powerful vow. Let the record reflect that Mr. Trump, through his own conduct, has chosen to absent himself from these proceedings. The court finds him in criminal contempt. However, the court will delay the sentence until the final verdict is reached. The defense attorney immediately rose to object, but the judge cut him off with an iron, hard command. "Silence, counselor. This court will not be intimidated. Mr. Trump called this court a corrupt hack. Fine. The trial will proceed. And when that verdict comes in, he will receive the full consequence of every insult, every violation, every disrespect shown to this process. He will not turn my courtroom into a circus, and he will not be a martyr." The trial continued, but everything had changed. The judge hadn't imposed a simple fine. He had attached a legal sword of Damocles to the case, a delayed sentence that hangs over the rest of the trial, adding a terrifying personal jeopardy to the already massive stakes. Trump wanted political theater, and the judge provided it, but with a critical twist. Every move the former president makes now carries a potential jail sentence. The ultimate takeaway is simple. The courtroom, divorced from politics, is about power dynamics, and the one holding the gavel just proved he holds the ultimate hand. The corrupt hack insult was the match. The ejection was the fire, but the delayed sentence is the ticking bomb for the entire process. Now the core question is whether this brilliant control tactic or an abuse of power that benefits the inevitable appeal. We will analyze the appeal process next week, so be sure to subscribe to follow this escalating legal drama. To keep getting the raw truth, hit that like button and subscribe right now.